Hey guys, what's up? This is Cross. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to create a graffiti tag for yourself. Now, for some of you, you may already have a tag and you might want to change it. And for others, this is the first time you're thinking about creating a tag and you realize how difficult it is. Unlike names, David, Bob, Steve, you cannot go around with the same tag as everybody else. It's sort of like a government ID. It has to be unique to you. Now, of course, it's very difficult. One of the biggest things that you're going to encounter is that if you go to another city, another state, you're going to see that some people might have the same tag, and you can tell the different people because of their writing style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my thinking process if I had to create a tag right now. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to give you a little history on me and my tags. So when I first started, I actually started tagging, let me see. I actually started tagging in 1979 or around there. And my first tag was actually Seek with a C. So that's one of the things I wanted to point out. You have to make a tag that is unique to yourself, and you have to think outside the box. So that means that you can change it up. It doesn't have to be the proper spelling, and that's how you do it. So I'm going to give you a few examples. One of the other tags that I used to tag, well, this is one that I wanted to tag and I found out later on that's already taken, BP. And not because of the gasoline station, I just liked the way it looked. And then somebody told me, oh no, that tag is taken, man. I was like, okay, no problem. So then I started thinking about another tag and I wanted to tag up JH. Now the thing is that for me, I knew that JH would probably be taken, so what I wanted to do was change it up, and the way I changed it up is that I wrote it like this. So I would actually spell out the word J. So I figure with enough time, if I kept writing this and I had my own style of writing it, eventually I can just write JH like this and people would realize that it's the same person. Because they've seen this tag so many times, they will figure out that the way that I write the J and the H, once I start writing it like this, they would figure it's the same person. Otherwise, even if there was another person writing JH, they would probably write it a little bit different than the way I would write it. So that's one thing you also have to consider. If you're gonna have a tag that you can abbreviate, if your style is unique to you, or just the way you dot your I's or whatever the case may be, if you do it constantly, you can probably do an abbreviation of it and people will figure out who you are. For example, just really quick, I want to show you something. Back in New York, I'm from New York. I've been in New York pretty much all my life. There was one guy who used to tag up Mac. And one thing that he used to do in the beginning was that he would draw a foot. So he would do a drawing of a foot. And what he would do is he would use the foot itself like an A. So he would do that, and then he would put the M here, and then the C here. And that's how he would write his tag. But then after a while, what he started doing is to save time, I guess, too, and just to be quick, he would just do the foot. So after a while, anytime you saw the foot, you didn't even have to he didn't even have to tag the word Mac. People already knew who he was. So that's another point that I would like to make out for anybody who is thinking about tagging. This is their first time. Just like I mentioned here, if you have a certain style, even though you might abbreviate it or change it up, people are going to know who you are because of your writing style. So with that said, let's continue with the process. Oh, and by the way, so after those tags that I came up with, then I finally came up with cross. Now the only little thing I want to tell you about cross is that originally cross, let me see if it's right up on this wall here. So originally my tag is crossover, and the reason for my tag being crossover was because if I saw somebody's tag that I didn't like, or somebody who had maybe wrote over my tag previously, this is what my thinking process before I came up with the tag. My idea was that I would write the word crossover over their tag, and I would just use this part here to write over their tag. So if their tag was right here, I would write this whole word over them. So this part here will be most obvious, cross, and then this part here would be blended into their tag. And if I was using the same color that they were, the same color spray paint that they were using, it wouldn't matter so much as long as this part showed. So this would get mixed up in their tag, but you would get the point that I'm crossing their tag over. So that's the whole point. And that's how I came up with that tag, crossover. Now the thing is that when I started doing the short version of it, I did start doing it with a double S. But what happened was that after a while I was thinking about it, and I didn't want my name associated with religion. So I started tagging it with just one S. But since my tag is cross or crossover, what I did was I started putting dots after it, indicating that the tag is longer than you see there. So then the next thing I started doing is that I started to change it up, and what I did is I took away these dots, and I added this little line there, and actually the dot became an asterisk, and the asterisk would indicate that there is more to it than just CROS. So if I tagged up enough, people would figure out that cross is really crossover. And then as time went by, I just started adding the arrow. So I replaced this asterisk with the dot here, and I just put the one inside for oneer. And that is how I came up with my tag. So that's just to give you an idea of how I think when it comes to creating tags. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna actually load up another wall, and I have a few markings on the floor which is gonna help me go through this a little bit faster. And I'm gonna give you a few ideas, a few tags, and how I came up with them. But I don't want to give you too many, because the whole idea is for you to come up with your own. And if I start giving out way too many tags, I'm gonna actually start giving too much, where it's gonna leave a lot of you guys, now what? I mean, you've covered every single tag you can possibly think of. Now there's nothing left. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna give it like around 10 or something like that. And then from there, once you know my thinking process, you'll probably be able to come up with your own tag. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay guys, so here we go. Let's start here. And the first tag I want to go over is, first I want to talk about here is you have to practice your lettering. For example, we're gonna start with the first tag. Let's think of a regular word, right? So let's take me, M-E. You wouldn't tag this up, one, because people won't read it as me, they're gonna read it as M-E. And by itself like this, it's kind of weak. It's, you know, toy. So people would probably write over it saying that it's a weak tag. So here's the thing. If you're writing ME like that with those letters, you probably get toyed out anyway. You'll probably get written over. You have to find a way to make the letters look better. So if you can come up with a style, it would definitely increase the chances of your tag not being written over or toyed out. So that lowercase e with the M, that looks fine. So to continue with the process of coming up with a tag, so what I would suggest to do is you can either do a double E. Let me erase this just so it's easier. I need the space. So one thing you can do is do a double E and just practice your lettering. I would probably get that M out a little bit more, right? So something like that. Actually, these two E's are better than those two. But the idea is to just practice. The idea is just to practice, and you will eventually come up with something. So the other option you can do with this tag is there are tags that actually have numbers with them together. For example, one of the graffiti writers in Queens was this guy who used to tag up Lee, but he would write up Lee 3. So I've seen tags with the number 2 on it. I've seen tags with number 4 on it. So one of the things you can do to change this tag up is write me 2. That would work. If your letters are nice, your style is nice, you can actually make this work. So that's what I mean by thinking outside the box and trying to just be a little more creative. You can actually get away with certain things, but it has to look good. If it doesn't, people are going to toy your tag left and right. So let's go with the next one. Okay, so for this one, system. Now I wouldn't write system as a tag, but I might write system with an I. So that's another thing, just like that. Think outside the box, change it up. Spelling doesn't have to be proper. The whole idea is to come up with something that is unique. Okay, so for here, let's take a name. Justin. Those letters are terrible. If you were to write this, you get toyed out really fast. And Justin is a regular name. So what I would suggest to do, instead of writing Justin, I would actually write just. And if your letters are nice, you can get away with it. Okay, here. This is an actual name, but because it's short, it looks good. Ben. Again, your letters are nice, you can get away with it. Here's another one. If you were to write this, the name itself indicates that your name is a joke. Your name is Toy. So you would automatically get crossed out. Somebody would be like, what the hell is that? But if you changed it up and write Joker, and in those type of letters, you probably get away with it. So that's the difference. Think outside the box, get creative. Here's another one. These are just thinking process, okay? Don't get hung up on the words and being like, who the hell will write something like that? This is just thinking process. Think of the word yellow. I wouldn't write that. That is not a good tag. But you can probably write gel with a Y. And the one who's more obvious is gel with a J. Now you could actually probably get away with a double L on that for either one. But I'm hoping that you guys are starting to understand how you can come up with tags, even though most tags may seem to be taken. Now, take this tag, Dre. Two reasons I wouldn't use that tag. One, it's probably taken already. And two, it's that of somebody who's well known. In this case, a rapper, right? So that tag will probably get toyed out, possibly. Unless that tag's been around for years, you'll probably get toyed. So here's the other option. Sorry. Dre with an EY or with an A, right? Change it up. Here's another one. Take the word snow. So the idea here is look at regular words. This is something that I want you to do that it will probably help you creating a tag for yourself. Snow, you could probably get away with the tag snow. You would need to write it a little bit better than that. That's not a bad tag actually, but let's change it up, okay? And let's get creative. So you can actually write snow with just an O and that line over it. That line will indicate that the O, it's long. So your tag will be snow. Then after a while, when people have seen your tag for such a long time, you can actually change that up a little bit. And you can actually start writing that snow with the king symbol, you know? So you can turn that into that. You can actually tag it like that from the very beginning if you want to as well. But the idea is that that line will indicate that the O is a long O. And then once people get the point you can start tagging it like this, and people will realize that this is the same person and you're just changing it up. So let's do another one. Take the word fade. Fade is probably taken. So what you want to do is change it up. PH. All right, you guys get the point. So let's do another one. Yep. Take the word nice. I wouldn't tag that. It'll probably get toyed out. So here's the other option. Nice with a Y. Now I wouldn't leave it NYC because that's just New York City. So you have to add the E. And then the next option is NYSE. All right, change it up. And then the last one, let's take the word yes. Let's take the word yes. So you can either write it JES, right? JESS. So that's it. I hope this video helped you guys out, give you some ideas on how to create your own tag, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Please remember to comment. Let me know what you think of my videos. Let me know what you think I should be changing, what you like, what you don't like. It would definitely help me out a lot. I do not mind creative criticism. Just be nice in your comments. I like to keep things civil, and that's it. I hope to catch you guys on the next one. If there's anything you guys want to see me do, any ideas you guys have for a video, or any questions you have I could probably do a video on, let me know. Leave it in the comments below. Okay guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.